You may have heard this already in the video I made about my tiny house story, but I'm planning on moving to New York City. For those of you who don't know, I'm not from the US, I'm from this little place called Belgium. How far is Brussels from New York City?
Brussels is about 3,669 miles from New York. New York as the crow flies.
Now, that's the first challenge. Why do I want to do this? Let's go back in time a little bit. My love for America started back in 2014. I was 15 years old and obsessed with planes. And of course, because of that, I wanted to visit Boeing's mega factory in Seattle. I must have stumbled upon something about New York, and the minute I saw the city, I just knew that one day I would live there. Luckily for me, my parents are really awesome and they trusted my judgment really early on, so I was allowed to go to New York. They found this awesome organization that organized a full East Coast USA trip for youngsters just like me. Most of them were way older than me, but I had always liked older people for the intellectual challenge. So, in the summer of 2015, I flew to New York. I had a blast there and met a few people that are still one of my best friends. This was just a short, fun vacation trip. But what I didn't know is, would I be okay to live here? So basically, right when I got back home, I started talking to everybody I knew about my dream to go to America. And again, and again. My parents didn't block or cover up my idea, but instead found a couple in Holland through one of their friends that live in the US half of the year. They had an awesome property in Northern California that they bought together with a Chinese and British couple, and they invited me to come over. I was 16 years old and flew to the other side of the United States all by myself. The flip side of the deal was that I would build them a tiny house, which I did of course, but that's how I got in touch with tiny houses for the first time. If you want to know more about that side of the story, you can watch this video right here. Anyway, I was in Cali for 3 months from April till July 2015, but that wasn't enough. I felt really depressed when I got back, knowing that I knew what I wanted, but I wasn't gonna get it anytime soon. My response to that back then was to here in Belgium start a business building tiny houses. Before that, I went to university, but that's a whole other story for another time. So I started this business called Tiny House Belgium in February 2016 and did that till September this year. The last 2 weeks of September, I went back to the US, to New York City this time, and I realized that what I found so awesome in America a year before wasn't the tiny houses, but America itself. So I made a decision. I found 2 people to take over my company here in Belgium, and now I'm working towards my dream of moving to New York City. How I'm gonna pull it off? Not sure. But what I do know is that I know what I want and I'm not gonna stop before I get there. If you have any tips for me to get to my crazy goal, please let me know in the comments down below, and consider subscribing if you want to follow me along on this crazy story. Thanks for watching and I'll see you later. Bye!